What's going on, everybody? We are back with another live show. We got App State Saturday night at Hard Rock Stadium, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be at the game. I cannot wait. It's been a while since I've been to Hard Rock Stadium. Maybe some fans weren't able to go last year, but we're excited. And Ross, you're wearing a very cool shirt that I think a lot of the guests that are watching now or later are going to like a lot. Move your camera down a little bit so the good
Yeah,
people can see it.
we got our swag gear on today, boys. We've got our stickers by AB and the Scoop collaboration T-shirt, live in effect.
Gotta love it, man. If you go to stickersbyab.com, you put in the discount code SCOOP in all caps, you get 15% off. And that's roughly going to take you around the $20 mark. The quality is very good as well. They have it in black and green. So you can switch it up, see which kind of design you like. Maybe you like it more in black or green. And it's very good quality. Highly recommend it. And plus, use the discount code SCOOP in all caps. You won't regret it. All right, let's get into it, Ross. The big event Saturday night. The Appalachian State Mountaineers come into Miami Gardens with a record of 1-0. They are a 8.5 underdog heading into this game. I'll be honest, I think this is a good opponent Miami's going to face. And like Canes for Life said, we better not come out flat because they will take advantage of the moment.
Absolutely. This is a team looking to strike. This is a second-year head coach that's already had some success, and now he gets a chance to go on the national stage and prove that his App State team is for real. We got to watch out for that run game, Paul. We simply cannot allow them to get the run game going early and be able to do it. If they do it for 4 quarters or even 3 quarters, it's going to be an issue for us, man, because they have 2 very capable running backs.
Absolutely. You know, looking over the notes, they have 17 starters returning. They have Chase Bryce, transferred from Duke. We faced him last year. We won 48-0, that I recalled. Should be an easy game, but this is a very well coached team, and I think their quarterback isn't really the difference maker. It's those 2 running backs you mentioned them. You have Peoples and Nolan, correct?
Yeah, Peoples and Noel.
Noel, my apologies. It's kind of like thunder and lightning, what a lot of people have been saying. What did you see from them when you watched the game?
That's exactly what I saw, Paul. I mean, we're talking about 2 different kind of running backs. One of them is a guy who can get to the outside. You know, he can do a little more in terms of speed and agility. But then you've got the power guy. You've got Peoples, 6'2", 215 pounds or something like that. Agile, strong, and very smart. He is a extremely smart runner.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, what do you think? I mean, their run game, are they really that good, Ross? I mean, I understand they play in the Sun Belt, not the best competition. But do you think these 2 running backs can really perform at the Power 5 level against a Miami Hurricanes defense that's very fast?
I believe they can, for the simple fact that their head coach has a proven track record of being a successful offensive line coach as well. That's how he came up. He has really gotten that offensive line going really good for them. Now, they might only have 2 starters returning, but the guys who are, getting mixed in, they've got some experience. It's not just brand new guys out there. And they've got a junior that's going to be starting this year that's going to be getting a ton of snaps too. So it's not like it's going to be just sophomores and freshmen depth. They're getting some quality junior, senior type depth. And Paul, I'll tell you what, this is an experienced team top to bottom on both sides. A lot of seniors and a lot of super seniors.
Yeah, no, 17 returning starters. Chase Bryce is a veteran quarterback. Like I said, we saw him last year. That game against East Carolina, it was East Carolina, his opponent. I feel like the offense, they kind of set him up for success, not really taking a lot of deep shots. Hey, listen, give it to your running backs, give it to your tight ends, a lot of short passes. Their offensive coordinator, Frank Ponce, he's also from Miami as well. He was the passing game coordinator at Louisville, I believe, last season. Goes back to App State. He's not a bad OC. Even some said he was being considered for the Miami offensive coordinator position. There were rumblings about that. So, we better come ready to play. Who are some X factors in the wide receiver core?
They've got 2 guys that really stand out to me. They've got a senior named Thomas Hennigan. He's 6'1", 210 pounds. Against Eastern Carolina, he put up 4 receptions for 114 yards and a touchdown. So that tells you right there that he can be a big play guy. I believe he had a 68 or 69-yard pass play in that game. It seemed to be that, like we talked about, the run would open things up over the middle for Bryce. And that's what they seem to go to. They want to do a quick slant or a deeper slant to one of their talented receivers. And the other one is Corey Sutton. He didn't play last year, but he led the team the season before in, I want to say he had, 10 touchdowns or something like that in 2018. So, I mean, this guy is a capable red zone target. And he led the team in, I want to say receptions the 2019 season too. He didn't, like I said, he didn't play last year, but I believe he led the team in a couple categories the season before.
Hey, I'm very curious how this matchup goes. I honestly think it's going to be a close game at halftime. And then Miami's talent, their team overall is going to separate as we get on to the fourth quarter. Maybe a little bit similar to UAB. They were in that ball game for quite a while. First game of the season. It's going to be Miami's first game at home. So I'm curious how we get up for this game. Last thing on the offense before we move over to the defensive side of the football, what kind of offense do you expect App State to bring this game?
Well, what I saw from this first game is I saw Bryce a lot more comfortable in the RPO is what I saw, Paul. He was making a lot more confident and precise decisions in that setup. I think we're going to, and especially, of course, if the run game gets going early, we're going to see heavy play action and we're going to see RPO executed, and they're going to do it in a very smart way, Paul. This is a very smart team, and like I said, with their head coach being an offensive line guy, it really has turned their offensive line into something that's just basically yearly talented.
Yeah, no, offensive line is returning 2 starters. So we'll see what happens. We have to win the battle of the trenches. We have to get to the quarterback, and we have to dominate. So, let's see what happens. I think there was a stat. I think it was by it could have been Pro Football Focus. I could be wrong on that. Miami had 35 quarterback pressures against Bryce Young. I didn't see 35, but that's what the tweet said. So take that with a grain of salt. All right, let's move over to the defense. Ross, App State. I'm not too familiar with their defense. You did a lot of homework. What do these guys have? Is it a good defense overall? What kind of scheme do you think they run?
This defense isn't bad, and it goes back to, like I said about the offense. This is high IQ defense as well as a high IQ offense. What I saw from them was very well-timed blitzes. They're not going to go overboard with it. They don't want to get exposed, and especially against a team like Miami. But they've got 2 capable linebackers, and they've got a secondary that plays fast and physical, Paul. These guys absolutely love to play physical, and one of their leading tacklers actually is their safety. So he's kind of everywhere on the field. He'll come down the box. He'll go to the outside. I mean, like I said, this linebacker core and this secondary, I think, can give us some issues. I really do. I don't know how many battles they can win one-on-one on the defensive line, but they do have 2 capable defensive ends that have shown some experience in the past. I believe one of them had 6 sacks last season.
Yeah, they're having 7 of their top tacklers return on the defensive side of the football. A couple comments said, hey, this is a close game at halftime. Going to be very upset fans. I'm honestly expecting a fairly close game at halftime. I think this is going to be a 10-point game is where I see it, or a 2-touchdown game at most. I don't think Miami's going to completely dominate the first quarter, and then they'll separate in the second half. Remember, guys, this is a 9-point spread. So Vegas tentatively either is on the money or they're pretty close to being on the money for some odd reason. So I'm expecting a close game at Hard Rock Stadium for the first home game of the season. Defensive line, Ross, how do they look? Because that's our O-line. I'm curious how we rebound against App State. We saw probably the best defensive line they will ever see in their college football careers. Now they have to transition to a program that's not in the Power 5, that's a lot weaker talent than them. Will they play down to that defensive line's talent? That's what I'm curious about.
That's what we simply can't have due to the fact that they've got enough experience that if we play down to them, they'll figure out ways to beat us on snaps. And hopefully it doesn't end up being absolutely crucial snaps. Keep an eye out for the defensive ends, Demetrius Taylor and Caleb Sperlin. Taylor's the guy who had 6 sacks last year, and I want to say he had about 13, 14 tackles for loss. So this is not just a sack guy. This is a guy who can get in the backfield as well and get tackles for loss in the run game. So they've got two capable guys right there on the end. The interior is something that I believe we can win in this game. I truly do, for the simple fact that we're bigger, stronger, faster. But like I said, IQ can play a lot of role in this. So we just got to play smart, Paul. We can't be undisciplined again. We just can't.
Chugmo Beer, $10 donation. Greatly appreciate it. What's up, Paul and Ross? Keep up the great work, and let's go, Kane. Smash that like button. Greatly appreciated, Chugmo Beer. Cannot do it without you, man. So thank you again for your contributions and tuning in. And yeah, hit the like button, guys. We greatly appreciate it. I think one way to get App State out of this game is third and long situations. Chase Brice, he's not an elite pocket passer. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not a gunslinger. Take him out of comfortable situations, make him go third and long, and I think we have this game in a wrap. But their running backs are going to open up their offense, and in short yardage situations, that's where I think Chase Brice can excel in, with short passes. And Frank Ponce, their OC, I think that's how he wants to evolve the offense. Where Chase Brice is setting it up with the run, with their two-star running backs, and then getting Chase Brice in short yardage passing situations and dumping it off to their tight ends. That's how I see it.
I saw a lot of, especially when it came to the 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, a lot of that RPO, like I was telling you about, but just RPO, quick fake handoff, boom, pitch to the outside quick, something like that fast. And they always got positive yards on it, though. They always got the 2 or 3 that they needed on it. So we gotta put a little more pressure than we did against Bama. We played off of those guys way too much. We can't do that with App State. We need to show that we're bigger, faster, stronger.
And seeing how Miami tackled and the angles they took against Alabama in one-on-one situations, if you rewatch the game, it was very ugly. I want to see improvements against a G5 program in App State. All right, Ross, let's switch it over to the Miami Hurricanes side. What kind of offense are you expecting Rhett Lashlee to implement in this game plan? Obviously, running the football, your consecutive zone reads, RPOs consecutively. I think it kind of gets old. I would like to see Rhett Lashlee utilize Will Mallory a lot more, utilize the deep ball threat. I think we're going to be very effective with Keyshawn Smith, Xavier Restrepo, middle of the field, Charleston Rambo as our possession receiver. Air it out.
Take some shots with those young guys early and often is my hope. But, Paul, so far they've been pretty stingy about how they want to operate this offense. So I won't be surprised if we still bang our head against the wall early in this game, trying to just get small chunk plays up the middle, trying to show that dominant force or show that we are stronger and we can get those tough yards. Chaney, to me, a guy like him, he's the one who should be utilized in this game thoroughly because he can do a little bit of everything. If Cam wants to be the power guy up the gut and we're actually getting decent blocking, that's fine. But we got to see Chaney get more opportunities in a variety of ways, not just running the ball, in the pass game too.
No, absolutely. We need to start being more productive running the football. We only averaged 2 yards per carry the game against Alabama last year. All our running backs, I think, just averaged 3 yards per carry. It was not a productive season last year for any of our running backs. I'm just top of my head. If one of your running backs runs for 500 yards, that's not good. Miami typically has an 1,000-yard season rusher. We're running back you. We produce a lot of great running backs. That hasn't happened in a while, and it needs to change. Stick with one running back and give him the heavy majority of the carries. If it's Don Chaney, give him 20 to 25 carries a game. If it's Cam Harris, give him 20 carries. But don't split it to 12 and 7, okay? It's not working. Your best running back is literally D'Eriq King. He's your leading rusher most games.
Yeah.
So we have to be more productive and get one of our running backs in a rhythm, because I don't think Don Chaney can get in a rhythm only having 7 touches a game.
Yeah, I agree completely. And here's something that I want to point out, Paul. Like you talked about our yards per carry average being so low. Here's what the App State running backs put up last year. 160 for Cameron Peoples, 168 carries, 1,124 yards, 12 touchdowns, which came out to 6.7 yards per carry for an entire season. That's not easy to do. Then you've got the other guy, Nate Noel, 2020 stats, 82 carries, 510 yards, 3 TDs. That's still 6.2 yards per carry. Yeah. They're averaging over 6 yards a carry with both of their running backs.
No, 100%. Look, we got to utilize Will Mallory a lot more in this game. He's an X factor. He's a mismatch in the heavy majority of the games. This is one of those games where he can truly dominate.
Yep.
I like throwing it to a player, to a tight end, to a wide receiver until the defense just can't stop. Just keep giving it to the guy. Like Reggie Bush against Fresno State. He had like over 500 rushing yards. Keep feeding him the football. That's what I want to see from this offense. And I hope Will Mallory can have that game where they just attack him and keep going to him every single play until App State finally finds a way to stop him. Charleston Rambo, too. He had 7 receptions against Alabama. I'd like to repeat that. And Mike Harley is going to be healthy as well. He's clear to play this game. So we have a ton of weapons offensively. There's no excuse to not put up points. There really is to be an effective, high-powered offense. And your main strength in this offense is your wide receiver core and your tight end. So you got to air it out. It's not your running backs. We don't have the strongest running back personnel at Miami compared to other running back rooms we've had in past years, in my opinion.
And I'll piggyback off kind of what you said with Mallory. Finding something we can go to on a consistent basis to the point that a defense has to adjust and make changes around that, which will open up opportunities elsewhere. As soon as you get a team biting on one kind of setup, you can open it up all different kinds of stuff for your players. That's what I want to see. Find something that works, stick to it, and force App State to have to make adjustments.
I will say this again. Ethan Boyd, I totally agree. I think this is going to be a good game.
It could surprise some people.
I really do. Offensive line, it seems like Justice Oluwaseyi, hope I'm pronouncing it right, is going to get the nod to start changing positions. What do you think about this move over Scaife?
Doesn't bother me, especially from what I saw from Scaife. It doesn't bother me at all. I felt that we had to make a move there. You can't simply allow a guy to play that bad and just go, hey, we're just gonna toss you out there again and see if you can get our quarterback killed on the right side. We can't do it. Oluwaseyi at least has some experience, and he knows what Garin Justice wants from his offensive lineman. That's got to be something. Somewhere in his background, there's got to be something valuable that we can use this season. There's got to be.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. I'm expecting a better game from Navon Donaldson as well.
Really?
I hope so. I hope this is a confident builder. Our first team, I think we can get through conference play, but I think we need to get our confidence up after Alabama. So it's going to take a little bit of baby steps for that to happen. I think this is the perfect opportunity in non-conference play. You got App State, you have Michigan State, you have Central Connecticut State, and then you go into conference play. So this is a golden opportunity to get your confidence up and move forward and be ready to go when it comes down to games that really do matter for that Coastal time to win the ACC Coastal. Ross, let's move over to the defense. Obviously tackling was awful against Alabama. Our secondary at times, tons of blown coverages. What do you think, man, from this game? Anyone that you think needs to step up specifically?
I want to see our secondary really step up, Paul. I want to see it as a whole. I'm not sure exactly how much more of a leash we're going to give guys like DJ Ivey. He simply cannot be allowed to sabotage our defense. He can't be. Now, is he a completely a wash and wasted player? No. He's still getting familiar with T-Rob's system, and he's still learning, just like the rest of the guys are. Don't write these guys off yet. T-Rob is a fantastic coach. But here's the thing. Diaz has to let T-Rob actually coach. He has to let him run his secondary, and I didn't see that against Bama. I saw the timid Manny Diaz secondary against Bama.
Yeah, no, I agree. Plenty of times there was blown coverage. That 94-yard pass they had, DJ Ivey got completely beat. Gervin Hall wasn't there for, to back him up. We were everywhere. Bill O'Brien was just literally confusing our entire secondary. It has to change. It has to get better. You're playing a quarterback you saw this past season. You should be very comfortable, very familiar with him. I'm not worried about the pass game. I'm worrying about our run defense. Okay, because our tackling, the angles we took against Alabama, I don't care who you're playing. It was horrendous. Bubba Bolden looked like a fool. He only literally played one drive, maybe, and he was awful. It was horrendous. Our entire team played awful the entire game. These are veteran players doing the same thing over and over again. It starts with coaching, in my opinion. And you know what? These two running backs, they're going to run all over you. Our
They're gonna.
linebacker play is not the same personnel we've had in past years. It's not by any means.
They will show us that they're not just a group of 5 team in terms of their entire team. They will show us that they have a power 5 level run game. That will be their main focus. And with an offensive line minded head coach, of course he's going to want to dominate the trenches. They don't necessarily have the size overall to do it for 4 quarters, but they've got the technique and the system and the smarts to make it happen.
Defensive line wise, who do you think shines? Chance Williams? Do we see the freshman come up with a huge play again, make a couple sacks?
I hope so. I want to see him get more opportunities, Paul. I mean, to me, he's definitely one of the most talented guys on the outside that we have, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, seeing these same guys coming in and failing over and over and over again, hearing about how good they are at practice and never seeing it on game day. I'm sick of it, Paul. I want to see these young guys get a true snap or get a true opportunity, and App State's a perfect game for that. While they're not a pushover, it's still a competitive game they can learn from and then still show some of their dominant traits.
Absolutely. No, the Chance Williams situation reminds me of Gregory Rousseau and Scott Patchin. Zach McCloud does start over Chance Williams, so maybe by game 4 he'll jump him. We'll see. But he did a great job against Alabama. He had her only sack, and I believe it forced a fumble as well. So, hey, keep it going against App State, Michigan State, and the next few games. I want to see Jahvari Harvey as well get going. That's someone we're going to really need on the other side of the defensive end, and DeAndre Johnson as well. Those are 2 guys to look out for. So, our D-line, man, that really gets our defense going. And then transitioning over to linebacker play, that's going to be key, stopping the run. It's going to be huge, and they better show up. I'm not the biggest fan of our personnel. I'll keep saying it, but that's who we have at the linebacker position unit. So, it is what it is.
If we let Peoples, their 6'2", 220-pound running back, if we let him get a little bit of steam going and get some momentum going, he's going to truck our linebackers. He will absolutely do it. And he can do it on a consistent basis. That's what the problem is. We might get to a situation to where if they're creating holes, we don't get it one-on-one opportunities. We have to wrap up and then wait for another teammate to finish the tackle.
And that's what I was worried about throughout the season is those 220 running backs. Big bodies, they match up well against our linebackers. So how we handle that matchup, I'm curious. Keontre Smith, for example, he's fairly undersized.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm curious how we really do, match up with people specifically. So it's going to be a good game, I think. Ross, what are going to be the keys for Miami to win this football game?
We got to get our run game in order. We're talking a lot about this App State run game. We got to figure out a way to get our run game in order, and we need to show a semblance of what the future of this 5 can be on the offensive line. I want to have a starting offensive line figured out by the time we're done with our out-of-conference schedule. I don't want to go into the ACC schedule, mixing and matching, playing Mr. Potato Head with our offensive line. I want to have these guys set, and I'd love to see it by the end of this week.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Protecting De'Ara King is going to be huge. Do not give up a lot of sacks. Develop a run game. We have no identity running the football whatsoever. None at all. And that's been going on since last year. So be more productive. Get a running back in the rhythm. For me personally, it's, being disciplined. Do not give up a lot of dumb penalties. If you give up close to 100 yards in penalties, you're literally going to keep App State alive in that football game. Tackle better. You're playing against a very strong running back room. They're very good running backs. Take good angles and finish. Finish your tackles. If they start breaking tackles left and right, it might be a long night for Miami. They don't have a good quarterback. We've identified that. Don't make him into one.
Making it easy on him is what allows him to be a productive quarterback. We saw against East Carolina that the RPO and the run game opened up all kinds of easy opportunities for him, and especially for receivers getting yards after the catch. That became a big kind of theme for them as they were doing the short pass game.
Absolutely.
But man, it's effective, and they know how to do it, and we have to wrap up. We don't wrap up, it's going to be a long, ugly night. And here's a player, though, that might actually be a really, really, really key piece for us, and we don't often talk about it because some of us are kind of tired of it. Amari Carter might end up being a key piece in this game in the run defense. He really might, Paul.
I agree. No, I agree. I think the striker position suits him well. I think in blitz packages, send him rushing to the quarterback. I think that's his perfect role on this
downhill.
Team. Oh, beautiful. Every time. Get a quarterback in his blind side. Oh, my God. That's what Amari Carter is, Use
a little intimidation,
Absolutely. 100%. All right, Ross, let's get to it. Your score prediction for this game.
I have got us winning. I'm going to go 31-17. I think we pull away in the second half.
Nice. Yeah, 31-17. I'm on the same page with you. I'm just going to up you another touchdown. I say 38-24. I think 14 points. I think that's how Miami wins this football game. Maybe get to that 17-20 mark, but I think it's going to be, Miami's going to win a little. You could take the over on this game. It won't be a 8.5, 9-point spread. I think they'll win a little bit over. So 14 points is the way I see it. And I think halftime, it's going to be fairly close. 10-point game, touchdown game. App State's going to be in it. I guarantee you.
Yep. If that run game's clicking, they can be in it for a lot longer than that too. So we got to make sure we take care of business, guys.
Yeah. Hey, short pregame preview and breakdown. Look forward to the game Saturday night at 7 p.m. If you're going to the game, say hi. I'll be there as well. I'll be at all the home games. Try to go some away games too. So, hey, we'll see what happens. And then we win, great. We lose, we're still going to go live after the game. You can catch Ross on Mark Rogers TV. He'll be going live with Jordan, talk about the game. I'll be going live a little bit later after that. Maybe Ross will hopefully join me here, and we'll bring some of you guys to talk about the game as well. And once again, man, check out Ross's swag t-shirt by stickersbyab.com. 50% off. Use the discount code SCOOP, man. Black, green shirts, great material. You're going to love it.
High quality material, guys. High quality.
Go Canes.